Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Lulu, and I'm so excited to have you here today as my guest during the Self Care and Healthy Mindset for Hormone Health webinar. So, again, I'm Dr. Lulu, and if this is the first time that you're attending one of my webinars, welcome. These are a wonderful way for you to learn about different aspects that can really elevate your health and help you to achieve your optimal health goals. My goal is to really empower my patients and the world with healthy tips. So, this is my way that I do that each week, almost every week, unless there's some kind of little thing that comes up in the way, like I'm on vacation. I have a webinar, and you can access all those old webinars on my website. And so if you want to go back a replay, and also they're on YouTube. So I am a naturopathic physician. And what does that mean? That's an alternative healthcare practitioner where I really focus on the root cause of the conditions and instead of suppressing the body's natural ability to heal. And I'm an expert in genetic health. That's kind of my love, is helping patients with genetics. And I work with patients experiencing chronic disease, hormonal imbalances, endocrine disorders such as the thyroid, gastrointestinal dysfunction such as IBS, Crohn's, colitis, UC, depression, anxiety, and fatigue. So I work with lots of patients with mental health as well as adrenal fatigue. And I believe that once we dive deep down to the root of the problem, right, getting deep down to that root cause of the distortion, we then can ignite our own body's innate ability to heal. And we can see unimaginable changes in our well-being once we really can be the detectives and figure out what's going on. And so my passion really lies in helping people discover their zest and joy for life that's kind of been lost along the way on their path of illness. Or maybe you're just finding out that you're ill, or maybe you haven't been feeling that great. My job is to help you rediscover that lost love for life or ignite a new love for life within you. So before starting Dr. Lulu's Naturopathic Clinic, which is my business, I journeyed through many careers. I'm like, as you would say, a true Renaissance woman. I studied interior design at the University of Georgia in Athens, and I have a doctorate from the prestigious Bastyr University in naturopathic medicine. I also am an herbal formulator. I love to work with herbs and customize formulas for my patients. And I'm an international speaker and author. I just have a new book coming out, or just came out, spreading the message of health. Like I said, that is my purpose on this planet, is to spread the message about health and help empower people that want to learn how to heal themselves. I'm educating patients all about prevention and well-being. And you can check out my new book. I'll show you some ways to get that at the end of the presentation today. It's called Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. And I also have a podcast. It's called The Genetic Genius, and this week is episode number 60. So there's tons of episodes you can go back and learn about ways. And maybe you're having some digestive issues. There's lots of podcasts with physicians and other practitioners about digestion. There's things about the thyroid. So, go through and look for ones that might be sparking your interest, or listen to them all. My new book, as I said, focuses on botanical medicine and other natural modalities. Aromatherapy, crystal medicine, meditation, these all come together to heal the whole body from that cellular level, from the DNA, optimizing vitality, increasing well-being, and enhancing cellular performance. I also facilitate ceremonies to activate plant and mineral medicine all around the world, connecting the points around the world where these plants and their long lost wisdom can help others. I'm also the botanical medicine director at the Veterans Healing Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina, where I live in Asheville, which is close by. And I can share my expertise with the veteran community there about using plants to help heal themselves and elevate their lives. I'm invigorated and love to travel and see the world with my husband, visiting botanical gardens and anything about food. I love food. So that's just like a little bit about me. And you can see I'm doing a lot. I love to help patients, and I'm always working and figuring out new ways to help them. Okay, so let's talk about hormones and talking about how to change your mindset to shift your hormone health. And it's really time to take control of that because, when your hormones start to become out of balance or they start to shift, it shows up in all different ways. And it's not just our reproductive hormones, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. We have lots of other hormones in our body that can be affected when we are in a state of distress or stressed out. And so bringing that control factor in, not from like you're going to control everything, but really opening your mind and opening the awareness about how you can shift your mindset. Okay, so did you know that the self-care and the right mindset is essential for a better quality of life? Well, you probably knew that, right? But did you know that it really affects our hormones in a huge way, like very impactful? I would say that our mindset is one of the major contributors to how our hormones work. And when we shift that mindset, there's so many benefits it can do in our body on a physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental level. It can shift our endocrine system. So, those are all the glands in the body, including the pancreas with our sugar and the thyroid. So, there's lots of glands that come into play with the endocrine system, including resetting the adrenal system and promoting the release of oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. Those are just a few of our neurotransmitters that communicate to our body from the brain about what our nervous system is doing. It also plays a role in activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So that system is our resting and digesting, and it's activated usually when we're in a really calm space, right? So we want our sympathetic nervous system, that running from the bear, that fight or flight, to be activated when we need it, when we need that extra push of adrenaline. But when we're in a state of stress, what happens is then those hormones, that sympathetic nervous system is overactivated, and then it causes an imbalance in the hormonal system and hormonal health. And the parasympathetic system, so we want that to be activated when we are in the state of calm and ease, right? We want to help our digestion, help our sleep, and also it's part of our detoxification system. So if you're under a state of chronic stress, not only is it affecting your hormones and your mindset and your sleep, but it's also affecting your body's ability to detoxify, which is really important for helping our body just get rid of things it doesn't need. That could be elements around us. It could be chemical toxins in the environment. It can also be mental and emotional components that are too toxic for the system. For example, like EMFs, so our body needs to have that rest time. That's why sleep is so important for helping with the detoxification process. Okay, so lack of self-care is a roadblock to hormone health. So when we want to shift the hormones, we really have to start looking at the self-care component in a huge way so that we can allow that roadblock to ease or move off the road, right? To enable our body's hormones to start functioning normally. And therefore, when we do not take some time for ourselves, so when we are giving, or going, we don't have the boundaries that we need to allow that self-care, bubble of love around us to be the priority. We want to make that priority number one. When we allow stress to take over or toxic people around us to control our life, when we're not the one in the driver's seat, our hormones get hit really hard because they have to compensate, especially cortisol, our stress hormone. We see a huge hit with that when it comes to stress. And also, when we're talking about the HPA axis, which is our anterior pituitary gland, the adrenal system, and the thyroid, those organs are hugely impacted when it comes to stress, hit really hard. And those three organs control a huge amount of all of our hormones. So they're communicating all the time to the body about what it needs. If we're in a state of stress, then that communication basically has a communication breakdown. It's either telling the body to do too much or do too little. Okay, so lack of self care is a roadblock to hormone health. And lack of self care in your life means your nervous system. Remember, I mentioned that that's that sympathetic nervous system running from the bear is always in high gear. It never gets a break. We want to have that balance, right? Between our go, go, go and our rest, rest, rest. We want to have that back and forth balance. So when that system is engaged and turned into high gear, it depletes our adrenal system. Our adrenal system is what we need for balancing our hormones that work with salt, sugar, and sex, aldosterone, our glucocorticoids, our estrogen and progesterone, as well as our adrenaline system. So, our adrenals are a huge aspect of how our body relates to stress and has a huge impact on our progesterone production. And, hormones, this is not just geared towards women. Hormones often affect men. Yeah, they have of course, different reproductive hormones, but we have the same makeup when it comes to the rest of the hormones, mostly, right? And so men also see a huge change in their hormones, especially testosterone, when they're under a large aspect of stress. So this larger result is that the hormonal system then is out of balance, and it leads to a whole host of other problems. So you can think of, like, if the stress is at the top of the river, the hormones are in that river and it flows downstream, and then downstream is a large amount of other problems. Maybe your thyroid is largely connected, or it can affect your digestive system. It can affect your sleep. So lots of different things downstream can then be affected. So, what are some signs that you need to focus on you, right? Making you the priority. So, let's talk about these here. So, if you're feeling some of these, and maybe not just one, maybe you're feeling some or even all of them, this is a huge sign that, one, you need to make self-care a larger priority, and then also that your hormones are being affected. So stressed, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling anxious, worried, dissatisfaction with life, or lack of motivation? Frustrated with people around you. And when you're not having that love hormone, we have a lot more anger. And also, in Chinese medicine, the liver is all about anger, and the liver is also all about how we detoxify, and how we make cholesterol to make our hormones. So when we have a problem with the hormones, it backfires in the liver, and we have a lot of anger, exhaustion from the adrenal system, total burnout. If you're feeling that, that's a huge sign that your hormones are affected. Are you at the end of your rope? You're just like dangling over the cliff, like, oh my gosh, I cannot do anymore. Your hormones are totally going to be affected. Are you feeling unhappy, depressed, or a low mood? Scattered, like you can't focus, you don't have brain focus, you're feeling a lot of brain fog. That's a huge sign of hormonal imbalance. And then, are you feeling pulled in too many directions, right? So you have too much on your plate. So these are just a few of the things that you might be feeling if your self-care is not a priority and if your hormones are being affected. So, how do we practice self care and have a healthy mindset? That's really key, right? So, it's great to talk about self care, but really, how do we practice it? So, first, it's really about self love. And the only way that we can bring in that self love is to look at the things in our environment that are causing us extra stress. We're not causing us to not be happy. Too many things on the plate. All those things I mentioned here in this slide, if you're feeling those, then you're not practicing the self love. So, taking time for self care means doing things that make you feel rested and at peace, right? Waking up in the morning feeling rested, being energized to start your day. I see so many patients that have insomnia. It's a huge epidemic. And then one of the first things I ask is, do you wake up rested? And the majority of my patients say no, and so that's a big sign that self care is not the priority. There's some hormonal balance happening. Of course, there could be some other issues, a chronic illness, but that's the first place we want to start, is looking at that self care. And you need to practice self care if you want to lead a physical, healthy life, a mentally healthy life, an emotionally fulfilling life, right? And when you're doing that with yourself, it flows out into all those around you, to your family and your community. And self care is a form of self love, which is essential for those hormone building blocks. It's 100% essential for building confidence in the world around you, compassion for yourself and others, for a better health and for better well being. So, I'm going to talk about some things now that you can start to bring in for self care. So, body brushing or skin brushing is amazing. It's super quick. And I will send out my great handout for this when I send out all of the post webinar goodies. You'll receive the body brushing handout. So, don't worry about that. But let's talk about what it is. So it's a dry brush. Use it in the shower before you turn the water on. And what it does is it stimulates the lymphatic system. So you're using the brush. You can see the image of me up in the corner. You use a brush lightly on the skin, and it stimulates the lymphatic system to move lymph fluid. And that's really important because we want to flush out toxins and we want to decrease inflammation, boost our immune system. So body brushing reactivates the immune system because part of the immune system is the lymphatic system. Really key. Now, chronic stress and lack of self-care builds up, or I should say, actually lowers our body's ability to have the proper immune reaction. And we can see that even with lab reports where we could have a lower white blood cell count. So it's really important to do body brushing daily to increase lymphatic flow, and really easy to do. It exfoliates the skin, so really good for getting those dry layers of skin off and things we don't need. It helps really improve circulation. It makes you feel rejuvenated and energized. So I love doing skin brushing every day, especially if I'm doing a morning shower. After I do my morning run, it really makes me feel energized and gets things moving. It increases circulation, like I said, on the skin, making it look more radiant, a great benefit and bonus. It also helps circulate the hormones in our system because they're moving the lymphatic system and the venous system, getting things moving. So oil pulling, maybe you've heard of this, but I really like oil pulling for these reasons here. And it's really easy to do as part of your self-care routine. I do it at night before I go to bed when I'm brushing my teeth or after I brush my teeth. So it naturally whitens the teeth and it kills harmful bacteria in the mouth. It also reduces bad breath because it's pulling out the bad bacteria, and it restores the mouth microbiome, a super important aspect of our self-care and that immune system all the way from the mouth through the entire digestive system. So oil pulling uses coconut oil in the mouth and like a swishing of the mouth. It's called pulling because it's pulling all the bacteria out of the mouth. So you swish with the oil and then spit it out. You don't swallow that oil. And so the pulling actually is pulling everything out of the mouth that we don't need that's causing toxins. And I have seen amazing results with oil pulling. I actually had a patient who was having a lot of tooth pain, and we used oil pulling as a way to pull out the bacteria from that tooth, and it really saved her a lot of long-term dental care. So just an extra bonus. Okay, Epsom salt baths. People think like a bath is just like, oh, it's, why do I need a bath? It's probably relaxing. It'll help me clean myself. But there's so many benefits to Epsom salt baths. I highly recommend them to my patients. Now it's kind of hot, so you don't want to, in the summer, you don't want to maybe do a really hot bath, maybe a more tepid one, which is great because you can stay in it longer. So let's talk about some of the benefits of Epsom salt baths. So one, the magnesium in the Epsom salts helps to relax you, improving your sleep. So when you're in that relaxed state, like I mentioned, your body is able to restore and make better hormones and make the proper hormones for sleep and for your hormonal system. So really key. I recommend using, so You can buy Epsom salts. I always recommend getting one that doesn't have any scents in it. You want to add your own aromatherapy if you want, not something that you don't know where it's coming from. So get a pure, clear, clean, unscented Epsom salts. And then you want to at least have 2 cups per one bath. Okay. I usually recommend 4 if you're really wanting to loosen up the body because of the magnesium. Say you have a lot of stiff muscles, you want to be in that 4 cup ratio. Okay. So, what else does magnesium do, or Epsom salts? It detoxifies the body and helps with the bowel movement. So, really important. Now, you might be thinking, well, what does detoxification have to do with self care and our hormonal system? Well, remember, I mentioned that the liver organ is part of our detoxification organ, but also the large intestine. So, when we have excess hormonal metabolites or things that we're trying to move out through the stool, we want to have a proper detoxification system. We don't want to have those building up and staying in the system or recirculating. So it's really important to have proper bowel movements, and Epsom salts will help with that. You can also do them internally as well, but I'm just talking about doing them as an external method right now. So it helps with aches and pains. Like I mentioned, if you're having a lot of chronic inflammation, wonderful to bring in a daily Epsom salt bath. And like I said, if it's too hot for you right now, just do a tepid bath where you can stay in the bath for at least 30 minutes and then do a cool rinse afterwards to activate the immune system. For women, it balances the hormones and calms the body. So, this is really key for restoring hormonal health. And you can also use Epsom salts or a magnesium oil, a topical application of magnesium oil to replenish the body's reserves without the need for digestion. So you can purchase that oil separately as well. Okay, let's talk about yoga. So, yoga has become such a more mainstream than it was. I'm a yoga teacher. I took a yoga teacher training. God, it's been like a long time ago, like over 15, maybe even 20 years ago now. So that was when yoga was popular, but now it's like really popular. There's lots of different ways you can do yoga, access yoga. It's very easy to access. I love online. Her name is Adrienne, Adrienne, I think, Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. It's free and she does great yoga videos. Really wonderful way to just start bringing in some yoga into your daily life. Let's talk about how it can help the hormonal system and reset the body. One, it improves respiration, our breathing, energy, and vitality, and it improves our prana, our life force. It helps improve body strength and muscle tone, really key, especially for women. If you're in that 40 plus hormonal stage, it's very important for bone health and muscle tone. And also, yoga, of course, leads to calmness and mindfulness. So we're talking about that reset, that restore button, or pushing that reset button and helping to reboot the hormones. It's a great exercise for women with adrenal issues. So, when you're in adrenal burnout or adrenal fatigue, doing a lot of high intensity cardiovascular can put you into that sympathetic state. Remember, I talked about the fight or flight can push you into that state too aggressively. So, doing a gentle form of yoga or walking is much more needed. It helps maintain a balanced metabolism. So it helps with the thyroid gland, it helps improve thyroid function and have regular metabolism for weight loss. It also leads to better cardiovascular health. So actually, when I was talking about cardio, yoga really improves the heart, the tone of the heart, that muscle of the heart, and helps improve cardiovascular health. So, resistance training, this is a really key, especially as I mentioned, if you're in that 40 plus hormonal age or your hormones are starting to shift, or you're in that menopause or perimenopausal stage. Resistance training is 100% important and should be done. If you don't know how to do it, seek out a personal trainer, but it's really important for bone density. As we age, as women and men, especially as women, our estrogen levels change, which then changes our bone density and can cause osteoporosis osteoporosis and osteoarthritis with bone loss. So it's really key. So it's a greater and safer alternative to cardiovascular training. If you're having some bone density problems already, this is a great one where you can just do resistance training. And it improves metabolism, thyroid function, and boosts brain function. Helps with brain fog because you're increasing circulation to the brain, increasing blood flow through the carotid arteries to our brain, and helping our brain recirculate and reducing venous flow or stimulating venous flow. It boosts bone development and density. Like I mentioned, it helps with osteoporosis or prevent osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. It also helps with weight loss. So resistance training has actually been well studied for reducing weight and helping with weight loss. So adding that into your regular cardiovascular routine is really important. It also improves insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance, decreases blood sugar levels, and reduces bad cholesterol, which is your LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol ratios. So breath work. Breath work is so key for mindset. It's 100% important. And I did last week, if you didn't attend last week's mindset webinar, you can go back and watch the replay on YouTube or on the website. There's a whole meditation there all about breath work, a breathing mindset meditation. So check that one out. So why is breath work so important for our hormonal system and a hormonal reset? So it helps to relax and calm you, reducing stress. So key, especially now, as you know, we're still in the pandemic. Things are shifting and stress is affecting us in all different layers. You know, it's like even as things are improving, we still are seeing the effects around us and it's affecting our stress, adrenal system, and cortisol system. So breath work also leads to better sleep. I love doing a breathing exercise at night before bed. That and other, we're going to go through a night relax meditation at the end of the session today. And doing breath work really helps your body to get into the parasympathetic state, reducing cortisol levels and helping have a longer restful. Breathwork also stimulates the lymphatic system and detoxifies the body. I already talked about that. And now if you remember how important those things are for our mindset, our hormones, and breath work now coming into the equation really helps stimulate those systems. It eases bowel movements and improves digestion. Really key because when we're in a state of sympathetic stress, right? So remember when I mentioned that's when you're in that flight or fight mode. You could think of like when you're running from the bear and that adrenaline rush, your body is not going to want to go to the bathroom, right? You want to hold it in. So when we are breathing, relaxing, it allows us to have better bowel movements, improves digestion, and is great for constipation. Also good for diarrhea too, because if you have IBD or IBC, so IBC is irritable bowel syndrome with constipation. So IBD is irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea. So if you're having either one of those, when you're relaxed, you're bringing your body into a state of resting and digesting, and it's good for both those. It also lowers blood pressure, really, really important component. And this has been well studied, and also increases energy. And that, of course, is because we're bringing more oxygen to the cells through respiration, and we're increasing the energy of the mitochondria, which is our energy powerhouse inside the cell, and really getting everything moving. So meditation is a great stress reliever. It's 100% important and key for relieving stress. And I talked a lot in my webinar last week about meditation. So go back and watch that one with really important keys about how to start doing daily meditation. Meditation helps improve sleep because it brings us into that sympathetic or parasympathetic state of resting and digesting. It resets the body from a day of possible stress or just even our regular day activity. It doesn't have to be stress. Just we want to get out of the the ruminating thoughts or out of the day into our body to help a long-term state of relaxation. So meditation also reduces inflammation in the body. Oh my gosh, right? Really key if you're having a lot of chronic pain. And also this could be women that are tuning in today and men, but women, if you have a lot of PMS and cramping pre-cycle, meditation is a wonderful way to reduce that inflammatory aspect of PMS. It's also a great tool for controlling anxiety or reducing anxiety and helping with panic attacks. Also, the breath work, like I mentioned before. And also, meditation leads to a better awareness of the self, which leads to kindness and forgiveness. So, meditation, it can be, if you haven't started meditating, it's a great way to start bringing in that mindfulness piece to really help reset the hormones. And if you're, on the fence about why to do it, here's some great reasons. And just start slow. I have lots of resources to help you. So check out the website and YouTube for those. Okay, gratitude journaling. I am also going to send out a wonderful My Gratitude Journal to really help you walk through daily gratitude journaling and also month and year journaling. And that's really important because gratitude, when we have gratitude for everything around us, it's abundance and we are attracting more of that into our life. So it also calms the nervous system, really key for that parasympathetic nervous system. It rebalances the endocrine system. So gratitude journaling actually helps the thyroid. Being grateful. One reason for that is because the thyroid gland is all about communication. So we're getting out that communication through gratitude journaling. It helps to reduce the stress that comes with focusing on things beyond our control, right? When we're in the present moment with gratitude journaling, it helps us to focus our energy on what we want to do in this moment and also for the future instead of focusing on things beyond our control. It helps us gain perspective on what's important in our life instead of like what other people are thinking. What's important to you? Remember I talked about you are number one. What's important for you and your family and your community. But by looking at what's important to you, you're able to have that better purpose and direction. It also helps you gain clarity on what you want more of in life, right? What you don't need. So if you're like, oh, I'm so grateful for XYZ, like, oh, well, I didn't really need the ABC. I really want to focus on the XYZ. So let's talk about healthy boundaries and how to say no. This is a really important part of today's webinar, especially when it comes to women. We have a hard time saying no. We want to say yes, 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 and help people because that's part of our nurturing nature. Men do that same thing, but it's really important for us to set healthy boundaries. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So why is it important to set a healthy boundary? So one, it cultivates self-love and self-respect. So you're respecting yourself when you set the boundary. You're saying, okay, that is out of my comfort zone and it's pushing myself beyond the state where I feel comfortable, that I have the ability to continue my self-love. So really important. It also builds confidence and earns you respect. It shows the people around you that you have respect for yourself, and it helps build your confidence about how you can say no and moving into the future, but also how you can say yes from a place of confidence. I can do that. Yes, I am honoring myself and I can do that. It frees up time for you to relax and take care of yourself. Oh my God, that's like number one, right? If we don't set healthy boundaries for ourselves in a healthy environment around us, we cannot take care of ourselves. When we don't take care of ourselves, we cannot take care of others. And that's really key. When you actually set a boundary around yourself or not around yourself particularly, but when you set a healthy boundary, it allows you to have so much more free time because you're like, oh, I have this boundary. I'm not able to do that for you, Mr. or Mrs. blank, blank, blank. I now have that time to take care of myself. So important for your hormones and your stress levels. It also eliminates the resentment and regret that comes with saying yes to things that infringe your boundaries, right? So when we step out of our comfort zone, when we stretch our boundaries beyond that comfortable level, we resent ourselves. We actually also resent the other person for taking advantage of us, right? Even though we said yes. and we regret it. We're like, oh gosh, why did I tell Susie I would do that? I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to just go home and take a hot bath, right? So it's really important to set healthy boundaries. And it also leaves you with more energy to focus on things you actually care about, the things that are a priority for you, the vision you have for the future. If you're giving, 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 you don't have the energy to focus on you. So now we're going to do a relaxation, a nighttime relaxation and meditation. I'm just going to set that up for us for real quick. I want to put on some nice music. So I'm going to stop the, whoops. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see, I'm going to turn on the music. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to here. All right. So for this evening's meditation or today's meditation, it's all about nighttime relaxation and meditation. Okay. So welcome to this guided meditation practice. This meditation is intended to help you relax deeply and completely. So first, start by coming into a comfortable position, whether that's lying down or seated. You can lay on your back flat with your spine nice and straight. You may support your head and neck by resting them on a pillow or a cushion. Just let your arms rest naturally by your side. Have your legs stretched out with some distance between your feet, just about 12 inches. And keep yourself covered with a blanket so you're nice and warm. Just make sure you're warm and comfortable. Now take some time to feel your body, connect into your body, and feel it start to settle down. Feel your body sink into the chair, the mat, or the bed. The body not wanting to make too many adjustments, just going into that place of relaxation. The body wanting to be where it is, finding its place of perfect rest. And once you feel settled in the space, in this position, bring your awareness to your breath. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And with a sigh, just letting the breath out. And do that a few more times. Just notice the cycle of breath in and out. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with a sigh, just letting go of the whole breath now through the mouth. Now with your next deep breath in, I'd like you to hold the breath just for a few moments. Breathe in, observing the breath, filling the lungs, holding it there for a moment. And then with the sigh, letting go. Breathing in once more, holding the breath for a moment. and letting out with a sigh. Now bring your awareness to your body. Just note and observe if you're holding any areas of tension, any tightness. Observing if there's a part of your body that's resisting relaxation. And now take a deep breath in and just send love to those parts of the body, sending them deep love, inviting them to relax, inviting them to let go. And for a moment now, shift your attention to the eyes, feeling the touch of the eyelids over your eyes, feeling the heaviness. Relaxing the forehead, making the forehead soft and smooth, and widening the eyebrows, just letting everything go. Become aware of your jaw. Notice if you're holding any tension there and just releasing it. Now softening your lips, and if it feels okay, bringing a gentle smile to your lips. Now let's come back to our breath, just observing it, not wanting to change it or do anything with it, just watching it come in and out, watching its natural rhythm, and simply allowing your body to have whole deep breaths. Watching the in-breath and the out-breath. Now silently repeat these words to yourself. I allow myself to be completely relaxed. I allow my body to completely relax. I allow my whole body to completely relax. I allow my heart to completely relax. I allow my mind to completely relax. And now set this intention for yourself, for this time that you are here in this moment, in the present. With this intention, coming back to your practice and observing your body. Feeling your shoulders sink in and just surrender. Your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, watching them surrender and let go. Your wrists, your hands, your fingers, watching them surrender and let go. And now bring your attention to your back. Watch your back sink into the floor, your upper back, your lower back, your shoulder blades. Watch all of them just surrender and let go. Watching your spine relax, and feeling the relaxation and softness in your whole back. Now bring your awareness to your chest, just observing and watching it relax. Your collarbones, your lungs, your rib cage, your heart, watching the breath in and out. And relaxing, letting go, letting the chest and lungs and heart surrender. Observing the calmness in your heart, the stillness you feel, and feeling so grateful for this feeling and this moment. Now bring your awareness down to your belly, becoming aware of your belly and the muscles, just observing the belly release and sink deeper and surrender and relax. And now the hips, letting them relax and release, and your thighs and your knees, letting them release to the floor, your calf muscles, your ankles, your feet and toes, inviting them all to completely relax, to surrender. And now observe your whole body, watching the body resting in this new state of peace and calm. Watching the body let go and surrender. Staying with the breath here and staying with the body. Now, as we near the end of the meditation, begin to bring some movement back to your body, just wiggling your toes and fingers. Start to bring awareness back to your body. You can gently either roll over to one side if you're laying down, and come to a seated position. And as you come to a seated position, raise your arms over your head, giving them a big stretch, opening your chest, and then wrapping your arms around you and giving yourself a big hug. Thank you for being present for this meditation today. Thank you for taking the time to bring in the self-love and the self-care. Okay, everyone, let's bring ourselves back to the present moment. I hope you all enjoyed that wonderful meditation. And it's a great way to really use it at night. I love to use that meditation at night before I go to sleep. And I'm going to send you a separate recording of that. It'll be on my YouTube channel. So if you want to just use that for meditation, you won't have to listen to the entire webinar again to just do the meditation. It'll just be short, a nice 10-minute meditation that you can do each night before bed. A really great way to reset the hormones. Okay, so what are your next steps? So first of all, thank you for tuning in today. It's been my joy and pleasure to be here with you to help you to learn about different ways to help reset your hormonal system. And if you're really ready to take things the next step further, you can join my Reset and Mindset program, which is the Mindset Reset course. And it is a do-it-yourself or a self-paced program. It's opening on August 1st, but you can join in and do that at any time. But this is a great way to really reset the whole body and think about how amazing your body, mind, and spirit could feel with even more nourishing food and healthy habits, really bringing in that self-care and priority, making that number one. And if you're really ready to love your body that you're in and feel better than you have in years, this is a great way to really reset. And, I have worked with thousands of patients for resetting the system, and this is a fabulous way to really jump into the program or jump into a new mindset. So if you're ready to dive deeper into a mindset program that takes your health, life, and energy to the next level, join again into my DIY 5-week mindset reset course. And you can do that for only $33. And you can use the code here for mindset reset. And this is just for the people that are attending the mindset classes and webinars over this month. And there's a link you can visit, and it's really easy to find it on my website under programs and webinars. So here's a little bit more about the course. So if you're really feeling that you're struggling with stress and burnout and don't know where to go, right? You just need that reset. This series is going to help you recognize the signs and give you all the information you need to get through this phase in your life, right? To really reset. So you're going to learn about stress and burnout and overwhelm, the role those your lifestyle factors are playing in stress, the changes to reduce stress and overwhelm, as well as natural remedies for alleviating chronic stress and more. It's a great course. And are you ready to set up your self-care routine? So if you need more help, please reach out and make a free discovery call with me. Find out how I can help. I have a great protocol for a hormone system for women over 40, as well as different things you can find out on my website. Lots of ways to help with the adrenal system and the hormones. So make sure you're following me on my website. Here's my doclulu.com, but following me on Instagram to learn more about health tips, recipes, free webinars, programs, and more. I have lots of ways I can help, and I'm always posting things on Instagram and Facebook. So stay tuned for my upcoming programs. I'm going to have a hormonal health program starting in the summer, as well as a gut restoration in the fall/winter. So, and you can get a copy of my new book as well. This is a wonderful way to reset the system for energy, mood, and love, the adrenal system, the brain, and the heart. It's a wonderful way if you've been traveling down a dead end road and you just feel stuck in patterns of thinking and feeling and behaving that cause you unrest. And if you're really looking for a way to revolutionize your health, optimize your cellular vitality, this book is for you. You can get a copy on Amazon or on my website. If you go to Amazon, you can just put in Dr. LuLu and it will come right up. So thank you so much for attending tonight. It's been, again, my joy and pleasure to be here with you this evening. I'm going to stop the webinar now or the recording so I can answer any questions you might have.